Well, I don't really know what I'm going to say today, but I feel compelled to speak. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be here another day. I'm deciding if I'm going to head to Portland today or spend another night here. But the water was colder than it's been all week, and also I had to go out further into the ocean to get to it. One of my fears going out has been an additional fear that I've had is my dog waiting and watching. I think at the most anxious moments of the trip for her have been when I walk out into the ocean and then disappear for a second, and she hasn't quite understood yet that I will always come back. And I think maybe, actually, now that I mention it, or I'm thinking of it, maybe that's a good lesson for us, for fear, just how difficult it is for us to learn that the outcome that we, that we either expect or anticipate isn't always the outcome that will happen. And for her, I think she is uncertain whether I will come back, obviously, otherwise she would just sit calmly. And each time I come back, and still her expectation is that maybe I won't, or maybe there's some separation anxiety there. I don't know, but maybe that's something for me to ponder. I haven't given it much thought, but I know that all of this process is not easy. And I've been thinking about all the banging on about change that we hear on the internet and in other arenas, I guess especially the internet. But it seems like a lot of people think the loudest you are, the more success you'll have, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. For me, it's been a long process, and it's not read a book and it's better, or watch a 45-minute video and it's better. And I imagine it's the same for you as well. And I think one of the things we have to do is listen to ourselves more than anything else, and find the process that works for us, the one that seems the most authentic to us and honest to us. And I just heard someone whistle. And take the time that we need to go through our process. And maybe it isn't 45 minutes. Maybe for me it'll be another 40 years. Maybe. Well, I hope not, but I don't think it will. But it'll be a process that will take some time, and maybe for you as well. And we have to honor that. And I was thinking this morning about time and all the things I've built and done under the pressure of time, instead of from the space of love and gratitude. How are those things functioning? Are they any better for being rushed? Would they be better for being made in a space of love? I was thinking of the grandfather clock my dad built, and I know it took him a really long time to build, and he never rushed. In fact, when he passed, he probably had 100 projects that he never finished still in the garage. And so for him, it was, I believe, taking the care to make everything, and not necessarily being driven to finish it at some pace that pleased, I don't know, who. For me, it's always been trying to, I don't know, it's a good question. Who am I trying to please by getting things done quickly? Probably the person I'm building it for, but a lot of times they don't even care. They want it done more lovingly than quick. I just remember forget it, I don't want to talk about that anymore, but I want to do things, at the pace that cultivates the most love and appreciation and not necessarily what gets it done the quickest. That grandfather clock, I don't even know if it was actually ever completely finished. I know it had its problems, but not really problems, but it needed support. It needed certain tweaks to make it run, and maybe that's better than just setting it and forgetting it. It got attention every day, and it had support, and so maybe those little things that he never really got around to finishing on it were just perfect. I don't know. It's been a really amazing time out here, and one of the things that I wanted to make sure is that this is a healing process, and I'm healing, and we're all healing if we want. And in that process of healing, there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be ecstatic highs, and there's going to be depressing lows, and we're going to feel like we've reverted back just because we've seen the horizon, we've seen the potential, and we feel like once we've seen that, then there's no going back. Well, maybe for some there isn't, but if you do, it doesn't mean that you failed. It's part of the process. It's part of the process of healing is, reliving those moments of pain and maybe suffering through them a little more than before because of the fear that you're reverting. But I don't know. I have those moments, but mostly I am still filled with this sense of joy that I'm not really too familiar with, and I'm embracing it in every moment that I work through those downs. Actually make the highs even better. It's like my body is my mind and body and my spirit are being tempered, like a piece of metal that's just a big block of metal that's being turned into a samurai sword. That's what we are. That's what the wounded souls are. And it's going to be amazing to be that blade glistening in the sun. So I don't know what I'm banging on about here, but I think it's about the process. We got to be gentle with ourselves. Ultimately, we have to, a lot of times we forget to treat ourselves the way we want to treat others around us, and we're the most important person to treat well and love, and that's not a thing to be taken for granted. For a lot of people, it's not easy, and it hasn't been for me. It's just a process that I'm working on, and I don't know if there's anything in this, but I guess we just have to learn to love each other, to love ourselves, and love what we have. And one of the things I noticed or realized last night is how challenging it is sometimes to work through frustration and challenge. And I realized that in those moments, if I could just hug it and love it, it would alleviate some of that frustration and challenge. And I think that's an amazing tool that I discovered last night, is to just hug it. Even in my head, if my dog does something I don't like and I want to get angry at her, I just hug her in my head, or maybe I just hug her, although I don't want to reinforce bad behavior, but I'll hug her in my head, and then it seemed to go away, and then I just love her. And that's ultimately what I want, is just to be filled with love all the time, and I think that's possible. So I'll let you know how it goes.